Perfektnie ja plecy. A ver. Una resolución por logrado detectarle y la gravedad que ustedes consideren que sostenga a la vez de caer de acuerdo, eventualmente puede ser la votación, pero cualquier cosa que esperar no sé cuál sea su comportamiento bajo techo.
Oh, perro culiao.
Claro, los tips de desarrollo, muy bien, gracias por caer. Gracias por caer.
La habilidad máxima de lo que consiga sentarse, como para seguir disfrutando este momento y disfrutar. No, estos días no se limiten todos los días. Repitamos. Y que se acaba de sentir de forma improvisada una visualización de la evolución de la inteligencia de la cámara. Quiero mirar el está feliz para que la lleve a la bueno, igual no la refiero a sociedad, simplemente no vieron los votos, que justamente es un partido, el partido radical, el social, entonces dejar por eso otro partido. Ahí está la clave. Toda la ahí, toda la, toda la, eso. Y anda, anda bien.
Te estoy escuchando. Sí, eso es. ¿Hecho Ray? Ya. Qué rico huele.
Igual, tiene sus pros y contras. Obviamente, para ver que así tiene una gran negativa, pero realmente vale que tanto todas que yo también estudiar, que tener una capacidad más afinada, no tiene ninguna excusa para sacar adelante la construcción. Sí, esa es la razón. Esa es mi experiencia. Si no, sacar adelante la construcción y seguir con lo que hacer, y van a terminar en el último programa, que va a funcionar. Y sacar un poco de fuerza. Que me gusta la construcción.
Ok.
arriba, que yo dejara. Obviamente están ahí claro y son lo mucho que vienen. Era de humano.
Yo estoy del lado correcto de la Biblia.
Efectivamente, es el lado correcto. El del Dr. Fine y Fine como es. La mayoría de todos están
Y más, y de toda la gente que vaya, evidentemente pueden ser parte de la política que hay ingresado. Pero completamente
aquí se lleva esta cuestión de conferencia de cómo estamos ya. Siguen en el mismo lugar. Como la literatura aquí. Tremendo corte, madre mía. Lo único que prendía más retiro. Más retiro y esta especialidad de Carlos ya te la compré de mano libre. Y dice llegar este techo ya así, en la ciudad de Alicia. Esto está la y ahí en el campo de la muerte y la voy a ver qué pretende dedicar a enfrentar su partido conmigo. Ella tiene un apoyo tipo partido radical y
La verdad que nunca lo vi, pero
No. No, 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 no. Ah.
This guy was sitting mere feet away from Konstantin Kisin during his debate with Destiny. When you hear what he has to say, it is scary to think how this could have gone.
I was like fucking locked onto his eyes, and he kept like glancing down at me and then like breaking eye contact. Because I fucking hate the guy. I was just like, I wanted to kill him.
I stumbled upon this stream when I was just trying to research and understand the opposing view, and I was shocked by some of the things this guy was saying. Keep in mind, this guy was sitting in Konstantin's eye line.
And I think he got distracted by that and didn't pay attention to a single thing. What I think that...
Yes, it is just talk, but there is something more disturbing beneath the surface here.
Okay.
He's openly talking about wanting to assassinate Konstantin. This could have gone very differently. He even has a box cutter or X-Acto knife.
Do you know what I should have done? Stanley Blades just fucking sprinted up onto the stage, slash Konstantin in the fucking jugular.
I bet he wants to kill him.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
You can see the chat. They're all thinking the same
What
thing.
the hell is wrong with them?
No one seems to be bothered by this because it has become so commonplace.
Yeah.
He knows he can do this. YouTube's not going to do anything.
Done. Sorted. Prison forever on the one hand. Prison forever on the one hand. And then I should have gone... Then I should have gone... Woke jihad. Woke jihad. I should have gone for the white race or something, I don't know.
The thing is that I think that there's a lot of people who have intrusive thoughts like that, but it's very different when you have a person verbalizing them inside of a community that is telling them that their intrusive thoughts are good. I think that's a massive, massive difference.
Say, oh, okay, well, he just worded that poorly. It's just
On
an expression,
camera,
but
yeah.
he takes this much farther.
Wait,
then
what?
he gets into, based on what happened to Charlie Kirk, this is what I have learned when it comes to how to kill conservatives.
No, I feel like my genuine psychopath thought that I've learned from the Charlie Kirk killing is if you are going to assassinate a political target, then try to reduce the gore as much as possible so
Why?
people can't sympathize with the bastard who's getting it. So you'd have to go up with like a cape, and like cover him in a cape and do it cleanly under there, you know, like a...
What, like a Reaper ult in Overwatch? Like, what? What are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense. It's so stupid.
like an abattoir.
So he's literally
Yeah.
openly talking about assassinating political targets here.
Uh-huh.
So the question is, well, why? That's what I wanted
Because
to
he's
understand.
mad,
That's
doesn't
why
like
I
him.
take the time to
Yeah, it's
even look
pretty
at
obvious.
these streams.
It's all like dog whistling. We need to secure a future for the white people.
Yeah.
He makes it very clear. His belief is Constantine is a racist.
And all it is appealing or dog whistling to the stupidest voters, like the dumbest 10% of people
Yeah.
who happen to be racist as well. Stick up for racism.
But then he talks about the real problem here is the weak white culture of the UK.
We simply don't have the white people stepping up and educating themselves in the right kinds of ways because of culture issues, I guess, because of the weak white culture.
He is the very thing he thinks he is fighting against.
Yeah.
His entire analysis of
This is the hyper-moralization of politics. They dehumanize their opponents so they're able to morally justify violence against them. I think that that's also a really big component to it, but I think that this is happening all over the internet. Like, somewhere along the line, it became acceptable to effectively, send death threats. And there's never really any consequences for this anymore, which is what I think is really so surprising. Like, you would expect to see somebody like this that, like they get banned or, they have in my opinion, I think people like this need to be put in a mental institution. Like, you just can't have a functioning society with people that are advocating to kill everybody else that they disagree with. You just can't, you can't have that. And again, the thing is that it's built on this premise that these people will never act on this behavior. Most of them won't. But do you want to live next to one of these people? Do you want one of these people to be feeling that way about you? I don't think that they do. intrusive thoughts does this to someone, I think everybody has intrusive thoughts, but the problem is that a person who's willing to verbalize them and then talk about them and then legitimize them in front of an audience of people while they're broadcasting it, that's a person who has a profound lack of decision-making capabilities. Like, their decision-making is impaired. And I think that's really what's happening here. And that's what makes them dangerous.
Dean's ideas are absolutely
self-control.
mischaracterized.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not contending with them at all. And then he uses those ideas as justification.
Based on these fucking ideas,
Yeah.
for me to vote for the Green candidate, you retard piece of shit, Constantine. I fuck like slap, mug, you mug.
This provides us a window into this mentality, into the psychology of people like this. It's important to understand. It's important to see.
We hadn't also at the same
It's
time.
not complicated. They just want to attack people and kill people that they disagree with. It's really not complicated at all. It's super simple.
Had the doctrine.
A lot of this would be much easier to manage if I got on that stage, grab his fucking lapels, right, hook in, and fucking ip-on, bang, right over. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about right over my hip. Constantine's right over my hip. I've got his fucking lapel. Bang.
Is this guy that bad?
Even if you disagree with Constantine, how could what he's saying upset you this much?
Because they're mentally ill. The people that behave this way are not mental. Like, you can't treat them the same as you would treat a reasonable person. This person is not reasonable. You can't reason a person out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. So you can't explain and rationalize why this person is doing something because there's no rationality to begin with. This is like, well, why did the pit bull attack the baby? It's a fucking dog. What do you mean? It's what they do.
You're right. By the lapels, fucking hoof.
Yeah.
Right, I'm talking bang. And his whole body just goes bosh into the fucking wood. That's what I'm saying.
People will claim this guy doesn't have a massive reputation, okay? But we see these same ideas reflected at a higher level.
Well, the thing is that violence and the advocation of violence has been completely normalized. And I think the best example you can use for that is you can look at the Tesla bombings. And you can even see now, like, look at the amount of people that, like, you know, that Thailand ship, right? Like, there was the one that got attacked in the Strait of Hormuz. Look at how many leftists did not condemn Iran for attacking a ship that had nothing to do with the war. These were civilians on a civilian ship carrying, as far as I know, either no supplies or civilian supplies. And the ship is not correlated or associated at all with either one of the parties that are in the conflict. Everybody with any sort of a basic moral compass should be able to look at that and say, yeah, I don't think that you should be supporting that. That's really bad that Iran attacked the ship. They don't do that. And why is that? It's because they agree with what's happening. That's the reason why.
Just yesterday, I stumbled on a stream where Destiny's head moderator is trying to talk to Destiny because he is concerned, because he is seeing too many calls for violence in their Discord server. And he's beginning to worry that people aren't actually joking.
Yesterday, I think Destiny referred to it as like kind of school shooter vibes going on as far as how people are talking in a way that makes people think that, like, not just radical and like, I'm so tired of people saying like, well, Trump did radicalize me. You should be radical under Trump. I'm talking about radical as in like gonna cause violence.
It's not, yeah, exactly. Like Trump doesn't make you like shoot up a random peaceful protester. It doesn't make you, you know, like advocate for killing people systematically. It's just crazy. That's just people excusing their behavior, looking for something that's going to give them a moral out.
In a way that isn't what everybody thinks it is, kind of way. And I know like your argument is like, well, people like Trump and things like that, like they can say this stuff openly, and like I completely understand that argument. My argument is that people aren't taking this serious, and if they are taking it serious and they are meaning the words that they're saying and they're not joking, that is the problem.
Well, the thing is also that they're also advocating for Trump to get put in jail. And these are people advocating to shoot Trump and stuff like that. So it's not like there's even any sort of consistency with them either. Like, they're also advocating for violence against the people that they disagree with anyway. So the real problem is that, and I don't even think this has anything to do with destiny, right? It's just people on the internet, is that people on the internet think that this is something that's acceptable. And the reason why they think it's something that's acceptable is because it's become accepted. That's the reason why. Why does everyone watch this? I mean, it also doesn't make you violate human rights either. It's crazy people say Trump radicalized them. Seriously? Well, he made them mad, right? I mean, that's it. There's a lot of things that radicalize them. Who is they, though? People on the internet? What are you talking about? And also, like, and here's the other issue is that, so there's a permission system that exists on the internet and it exists in media that enables these people to perform these actions. And I'll use an example recently of how that permission structure is manifested. So if you look at the bombers, the two people that threw the bombs at Jake Lang, and then, in front of Mandami's house because he was a anti-Islam protester, and then they yelled Allahu Akbar. So the first thing that you saw happen is that on the internet, you had a bunch of anonymous accounts that were gassing up these terrorists saying that they were sad the bombs didn't go off. Then after that, you have bigger influencers, basically framing the entire conversation around Jake Lang bringing this on himself and about how bad he is and about how they don't feel sorry for him. Then after that, you have the media that reframes, like, basically they do a, English sleight of hand where they call the bombers activists, and then they say the bombing happened in front of Mandami's home. And so it implies, based off of the title, that it's actually them bombing Mandami's home because he's a Muslim, but it's actually Muslims throwing a bomb at somebody for protesting against Muslims. And so then that happens. And then on top of that, then you have CNN anchors that go on the media and they go on the news and they say, well, terrorist things happen. And yeah, this is bad. But you can't condemn all Muslims. And it's like, nobody's even talking about that. Nobody's saying that. And so you have this entire permission structure that's created to rationalize and then also normalize this violence. And most important, protect the violence and lionize, or in one way or another, basically kind of appreciate it. I think that's a good way to say it. People appreciate the violence. And so that's really what happened. Same with George Floyd protests. Well, George Floyd was a little bit different than this, right? But they pledged allegiance to ISIS during arrest. Yes, exactly. Mandami lied and said it was a Muslim supremacist or white supremacist. Well, I don't care about what he was saying about Jake Lang, but what I'm saying is and then of course, Zoran Mandami comes out and he spends more time condemning the person who had a nail bomb thrown at him than the person who threw the nail bomb. That's the problem. So when I say they, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. Very rarely, they do not, this is a puzzle, right? And so the entire thing doesn't happen through one person, but it's created in a permission structure through an aggregate. And that's an example of it happening this week. Does that make sense? Do you guys see where I'm coming from with this? Hopefully you guys can see this. You think you hate journalists enough? You do not? Yeah. Most people on your side believe this. Many people on the right believe all Muslims are bad. Yeah, and plenty of people on the left believe all white people are bad. Does that mean that you should base all of your decisions off of a radical minority of people? I don't think so. That's not what I would do.
Okay.
Everyone's joking, though.
But everybody's not joking, though. My concern is that we are vastly approaching point of no return in our own rhetoric within the community.
And they'll also get banned, too. It's another important component. And that's the reason why he's worried about it, too.
And I think that it is being furthered by us not addressing it.
I'm forced to ask myself, how is this, if YouTube is going to kick off people like we've seen them kick off, why is this tolerated?
Thank you.
Yeah, Constantine. Is
I mean, we introduced new things, so I don't know. I don't know what the monoculture is. I hear.
People are going to claim, yeah, but this guy's not famous. He's not, no one really knows who he is. That's why. But
The problem is that the people that aren't famous are the ones doing the actions. They're like shock troopers that go out and effectively put their lives on the line, and then everybody else tries to run defense for them and then view them as a good actor. I think that's what happens.
how is that even relevant?
Yeah.
And multiculturalism, which have
It's a bad
instead of
action no matter what.
creating a monoculture into which people are encouraged to buy in and integrate, have instead created a society in which people are encouraged to see themselves as members of an individual community.
Yes.
He fails to see that he is the very thing he thinks his opponents are.
About 40 died. But this is what I hate about these people, is like they make a career,
Yeah.
right?
Career about what?
They make a career out of violent and aggressive politics and riling it up and stoking it up.
And this is their rationality, is that they think that the politics are aggressive, and the politics being aggressive rationalizes their aggression. That's what they're thinking.
So therefore we should take
Yes.
them out because they're
Yes.
riling things up. They're too full of hatred, so we should hate them.
That's the idea. Yes.
And then they're like, oh, thank you for letting me discuss the ideas and ruining your fucking country with all this bullshit.
Oh, so they're ruining your country, but Constantine can't have concerns about people ruining his country.
Yes.
I think that concepts like England were created in order for monarchs to consolidate power in their kingdoms.
And if this continues, it will only get worse.
And this could have gone very differently. How do people get to the point of what you're seeing in this video? Well, it all comes down to the laws of narrative. There's always going to be people that wish you harm. You just have to learn how
Well,
to spot.
the problem is that people like this used to just be completely sidelined by society and institutionalized, if not beat up and killed. That's the reality, is that crazy people that were violent and aggressive back in the old days they used to hit their head with rocks to let the demons get out. Like that's what used to happen to these people. Like that's the reality. We don't live in that barbaric society anymore, but we've gone so far to the other side that we allow these people to, no, I mean, like you can laugh at it, like say it's crazy, but like it's true. Like these people need to be institutionalized for their own better judgment, right? Like it's for their own best interest that they're institutionalized.
them. And if you're
That's
interested in
right.
these concepts, I do have a book coming out in August. I've been working on this for 2 years. I began writing it
Yeah,
when I was
crazy
still
take, but true.
a high
Yeah, it
school
is.
teacher. It's meant to be more of a methodology. The reality is we have opponents every day. I want it to be that kind of book that people carry around in their bag and it's like wrinkled up because they're using it and it's all marked up with annotations and notes. It examines
I'll link you guys the video.
the laws of narrative and how narrative leads people to what you're seeing in this video. The lessons I have found most valuable. So I'll put the link below if you're interested.
I think that a big component to it too, I like Warren, I've watched a couple of his videos before, and so you guys can take a look at it. They're also called When Eugenics Was a Thing. Yeah, exactly. Like these are the people that literally got lobotomies. Like they actually just lobotomized these people. Because like a civilized Western society cannot tolerate a person with no sense of self-control. Like you can't have a high trust society with people that don't have self-control. It's impossible to do that because if you do, then everything turns to shit. They're a threat to society. They are. They're a massive threat to society and they are very dangerous because if you let them go and run wild, what happens is that they become even more violent and they hurt other people. And I think the biggest issue with what happens is that when they do something like that, people think, oh my God, how could we have known this? It was so obvious. It was so completely fucking obvious. Electric shock treatment too? Yeah, it was. And so I wish more people thought like that. And I don't think that we should lobotomize them or anything else. I just think that we need to institutionalize these people and keep them safe not only from everybody else, but also from themselves. These people will end up getting themselves killed. The guy in the video deleted his YouTube, maybe he got banned. I don't care about that. I don't care about him getting banned. It doesn't matter to me. What I do care about is making sure that people like that are institutionalized in a way that makes it to where they're not able to do anything wrong, right? I mean, that's what really matters. The other stuff is kind of irrelevant to me, if you want me to be honest. So, Over the Top. This is a new video game. People want me to try it out.
As President Trump shared with the American people last night,
Uh-huh.
the United States military is making tremendous strides
Wow.
towards achieving our military objectives for Operation Epic Fury.
Yeah.
10 days in, this campaign has
It's
been a
been 10
resounding
days already?
success thus far, and America's warriors are winning this important fight at an even faster pace than we anticipated.
Great.
More than 5,000 enemy targets have been struck so far.
That's a lot of targets.
Iran's ballistic missile attacks are down more than 90%, and their drone attacks are down by approximately 85% since the start of Operation Epic Fury. The United States is also annihilating the Iranian regime's navy, and we have destroyed more than 50 Iranian naval vessels.
You said 51.
Including a major
I thought they were
drone
out of
carrier
ships.
ship. None of the regime's vessels are operating in major regional waterways, and the Iranian Navy has been assessed as combat ineffective.
Oh, so it's
the
deleted?
trend is clear. U.S. combat capabilities are increasing and growing more lethal and dominant by the day,
You know
while
Pete
the
Hegseth
Iranian
wrote
terrorist
this.
regime's ability to respond has rapidly declined. Now, the
You know,
U.S.
she could
military
see
is
her
moving
reading
to
it.
dismantle Iran's missile production infrastructure. Our incredible B-2 bombers recently dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs on deeply buried missile sites.
Wow.
Last night, President Trump reiterated his commitment toward keeping oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz.
That's right.
So the United States and all of our allies can receive their energy needs.
Wow.
President Trump will not allow rogue Iranian terrorists to stop the freedom of navigation and the free flow of energy.
Yeah, that's
Let
a good
me be
thing.
clear. It is a good thing to wipe out
That's what I
terrorists
said.
who indiscriminately target civilians and attempt to hold the global economy hostage. And President Trump should be commended
Cuba's
for doing
next?
so.
Oh, Cuba's
As the
it's
president
already
made
over.
unequivocally clear to the remaining
At this
elements
point,
of this terrorist
it's already
regime
over.
in his statement yesterday. If they do anything to stop the flow of oil or goods within the Strait of Hormuz, they will be hit by the world's most powerful military 20 times harder than they have been hit thus far.
So they're just going to
Moving
get
forward,
deleted.
The stated objectives for Operation Epic Fury remain the same. Destroy the terrorist regime's ballistic missiles, raise their Iranian missile industry to the ground, ensure their terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region, and ensure that Iran never obtains a nuclear weapon. President Trump remains confident these goals will be accomplished in swift fashion.
It's like a purge?
As for the oil,
Yeah, it's like a
President
purge.
Trump fully expected the rogue Iranian regime to try and disrupt the global markets. That's why President Trump and his energy team have been planning for this long before the strike and have moved quickly to address these temporary disruptions. Thus far, the Trump administration has offered political risk insurance to tankers operating in the Gulf.
Oh, I saw that.
The Treasury temporarily waived certain oil-related sanctions, and the Commander-in-Chief has offered the U.S. Navy to escort tankers when necessary.
That's nice.
The president and his energy team
What
are
a nice
closely
guy.
watching the markets, speaking with industry leaders, and the U.S. military is drawing up additional options following the president's directive to continue keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. I will not broadcast what those options look like, but just know the president is not afraid to use them. Rest assured to the American
Nuclear
people,
bomb.
the recent increase in oil and gas prices is temporary, and this operation will result in lower gas prices.
Has gas gone up
in the
for you
long
guys?
term. Once the national
Has it or
security
not?
objectives of Operation Epic Fury are fully achieved, Americans will see oil and gas prices drop rapidly, potentially even lower than they were prior to the
N-bomb?
start of the operation. And we will live in a world where Iran can no longer threaten the United States or our allies with a nuclear bomb.
That'd be good.
On another
That'd be a
matter
good
here at
thing.
home, President Trump is urging Congress to pass the Save America Act, one of the most critical pieces of legislation in our nation's history.
Wow.
The Save America Act is overwhelmingly popular with all Americans because each provision is
Up
rooted
30
in
cents?
common
I
sense.
don't even really check for
The Save
gas a
America
lot.
Act has 5 simple requirements as requested by the President of the United States.
I don't know
Number
about gas
1,
prices, work my
voters
ass off
have
not
to
be
show
poor.
ID to cast a ballot in an American election.
I still usually
Very
try to pay
simple.
attention.
90% of Americans, including more than 80% of Democrat voters, agree with this. Number 2, The Save America Act will require all voters to show proof of citizenship in order to register to vote.
Imagine
in
not
American
wanting people
elections.
to show citizenship.
Again, this is
like, how can you be against that?
Only American citizens
so
have the right to
retarded.
vote in American elections.
I don't
But
know
after
how you
Joe
can even
Biden
get
and
there.
the Democrats allowed tens of millions of illegal aliens into our country, it's more important than ever to ensure that only American citizens are registering to vote on our nation's voter rolls. And Congress
You have to be a
needs
cheater.
pass this.
Yeah.
Number 3, the Save America Act abolishes the incredibly unsecure practice of universal mail-in ballots, which throw the door wide open for fraud.
Yeah.
Importantly, the Save America Act maintains exceptions for Americans to use mail-in ballots like
If
for
they're
illness,
sick or something,
disability,
yeah, that's fine.
military, or travel reasons.
Yeah.
The bipartisan 2005 report of the Commission on Federal Election Reform, chaired by, of all people, former President Jimmy Carter and former Secretary of State James Baker, concluded that, quote, absentee
Why the US
ballots
doesn't have
remain
free
the
and national
largest
ID
source of
or
potential
federal
voter
ID?
fraud, and
We
it
do.
is time for Congress
It's
to
just done by
finally
each
address
state.
this. Number 4,
But they're
the Save
cross-referenced.
America Act permanently bans men from competing in women's sports. President Trump
Oh,
signed
no.
a landmark executive order upholding
No.
the promise of Title IX and ending this dangerous and unfair practice.
Oh
But
my
now
God,
it's
this
time
is
for
a
Congress to
transgenocide.
codify this into law.
Oh my
Number
God.
5, the Save America
No.
Act bans transgender mutilation surgery for children. Again,
Oh my
President
God.
Trump signed a common sense executive order to do this and kept his promise to the American people, but now Congress needs to do the same and
Yeah, they
codify
obviously
it.
should
It's
do
well
that.
past time for Democrats in Congress to stop perpetuating the radical and false claim that you can somehow change a child's sex. You cannot.
It's sick. It's
Passing
totally
the Save America
sick.
Act is the most important thing that Republicans
The fact that
and
people play
frankly
along with that
Democrats can
bullshit
do
is
to
so
strengthen election
it's so
integrity and
dangerous.
protect our democracy.
It's ridiculous.
It's what the American people elected Republicans to do, and they must deliver on it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
The president is calling on Congress to get the job done and send this historic piece of legislation to his desk
The pedos?
immediately.
Some
for
of them are. I
signature.
don't know about all
So
of
with
them.
that, today I will take your questions. Benny, thank
Okay.
you for being here, and why don't you start us off?
Thank you, Caroline. So my first question is actually about the Save America Act. So one of the biggest things that the Democrats are saying, the claims that they're making, is that the Save America Act, it would prevent married women from voting in elections or make it harder for them. What do you have to say to those claims?
Oh my
is
God.
there any validity to them, and where do you think they're getting this from?
There is zero validity to these claims, and I'm glad that you brought them up because you
Yeah.
have the Democrats who have created this myth.
I mean,
that has been perpetuated,
oh wait,
unfortunately,
it's not
by
disenfranchising
many in the
women?
mainstream media. Let me be very
Ah.
clear. The Save America Act does
Oh,
not prohibit
God. Ah,
anyone from
shit.
voting, with the exception of illegal aliens. And the greatest way to disenfranchise American citizens from voting in American
Fuck.
elections is to allow illegal aliens to vote.
I'm out,
which is
yeah.
what Democrats want to do.
I don't know about
Keep
this
taking
one,
place
guys.
In Democrat jurisdictions at the state and local level.
not for it
across
anymore?
this country.
Yeah.
So the Save America Act corrects that.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as married women who have changed their name, if they're
Yeah.
already registered to vote, they're entirely unaffected by the Save Act. And for the small fraction of individuals who have changed their name or their
Mm-hmm.
address, they can still register to vote, of course. They just have to go through their state processes to update that documentation. And this is something
Yeah.
that the American people, married women, and minorities, and people all across this country who Democrats are insultingly saying cannot do this,
Yeah.
they're already doing it every day, going to the Social Security office.
Yeah, they
going to
can't.
the
They
DMV,
can't
and I
use.
think
They
it's
can't go to the
frankly insulting
DMV.
that the Democrats
It's
are saying that there are
impossible
certain
for a
groups of
woman
people
or
in
a
this
black
country
person
who
to
aren't
go
smart
to
enough
figure out where the
update their
DMV is.
documentation to allow them to vote.
The
Again,
only
this is
person
a
that can
huge
figure
myth,
out
and
where a
thank you for giving me
DMV
the
is a
opportunity to
white
address it.
man.
And then just one-
Black people don't even know what DMV
The funding
is.
issue has been 3+ weeks now. I was at the airport this morning in
They don't
St.
even know
Louis,
what the
Missouri,
word is.
and it was early in the morning, and one of the TSA agents, I saw she was kind of
So
tearing up, she
true,
was crying,
brother.
And I asked her, I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, I can't make my phone payment. I can barely make my car payment that's
Yeah.
coming up. I think a lot in the Beltway, there's so much noise between Democrats, Republicans. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Republicans' fault.
Yeah.
But what is the White House's message to the American people that are struggling because they're not getting that paycheck?
It's the Democrats' fault.
Take
Tell them
away
it's the
the
Democrats'
politics.
fault.
What do you have to say to those people?
What do you mean? What do you have to
President
say?
Trump
That are
wants
poor.
the Department of Homeland Security. He wants TSA, he wants FEMA, he wants the brave men and women of our United States Coast Guard to receive their paychecks, and he wants this department to be fully funded and fully reopened. And so to any American
Don't
out
forget,
there
they don't have
who
these
is struggling
computers.
without a
They
paycheck,
don't even know
we
what the
there's
word
more than
computer is.
100,000 of you across the country. To any American out there who is showing up to an airport and facing incredibly long wait times and lines, call your Democrat member of Congress and tell them to fund the Department of Homeland Security. That's what President Trump wants to do, and it's completely ridiculous that the American people are suffering as a result of these partisan games that are being played by Democrats on Capitol Hill. Thank you.
How's their audio bad? I think it's fine.
You said the operation was going faster than anticipated. What is your current timeline for how long?
You're not gonna. He's not gonna. Why would you
look,
ask
as you know,
that?
Steve, the president and the U.S.
Why would you even
military's,
why would you waste our
initial
time with
timeline
this?
was about 4 to 6 weeks to achieve the full objectives of Operation Epic Fury. Again, to destroy their missiles and their ability to make them, destroy their navy,
it's just,
permanently deny them nuclear weapons forever, and to, of course, weaken
the war's
their
gonna be
evil
over
terrorist
in
proxy
7 days from now.
We know that the U.S. military and our brave warfighters are quickly and expeditiously executing these objectives well ahead of schedule. But ultimately, the operations will end when the commander-in-chief determines the military objectives have been met, fully realized, and that Iran is in a position of complete and unconditional surrender, whether they say it or not.
President still want Iran's unconditional surrender.
Well, when President Trump says that Iran is in a place of unconditional surrender, he's not claiming the Iranian regime is going to come out and say that themselves. What the president means is that Iran's threats will no longer be backed by a ballistic missile arsenal that protects them from
It's just
going to
be a bunch of idiots talking shit.
I could make an empty threat, but if I have no actions to back it up, then it's an empty threat. And so President Trump will determine when Iran is in a place of unconditional surrender, when they no longer pose a credible and direct threat to the United States of America and our allies. Adriana.
Can you explain why the Energy Secretary posted and then appeared to have deleted a post on X saying that the U.S. Navy escorted an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz?
What?
Yes, I was made aware of this post. I haven't.
That was
had
a
chance
fuck
to talk
up,
to the
huh?
Energy Secretary
Kind of messed
about
up.
it directly. However, I know the post.
We're gonna
was
be there
taken
for a
down
long
pretty
time.
quickly, and I can confirm,
Somebody said 15
that the US Navy
years.
has
We're
not
gonna be in
escorted
Iran
a
for
tanker or
15
vessel
years.
at this time. Though of course that's an
That's a
option
long
the president
time.
has said he will absolutely utilize if and when necessary at the appropriate
Just
time.
the way it is.
That was posted erroneously.
20 years?
Could it be because of a staffer? What I guess.
It's bullshit.
Will there be any
Like
consequences
15
for this? I know you
days.
still have to
Maybe.
consult, but just generally speaking.
Again, I would defer you to the Department of Energy to answer that question.
Really quickly, in terms of oil sanctions, the president said that there would be some sanctions. What that would be lifted? Would those be on Venezuela, Russia?
What do you mean? Iran will be the 51st state? No, Cuba will be.
I know it's something that the Treasury Department
Yeah,
and
it's gonna
the
be
President's
Cuba.
energy team continue to discuss, and they will ultimately consult with the president before decisions are made. I don't have any announcements on new sanctions or the lifting of new sanctions for you today. Alex.
Thank you. Reuters has reported that about 150 U.S. service members have been injured so far. Can you confirm
150?
that number and elaborate on that?
That's a lot.
I can't confirm the exact number. I know it's within that ballpark, but I would defer you to the Pentagon.
I'm surprised that many got injured, but
wounded or injured thus far.
very few got killed.
And then secondly,
Just
if
surprising.
I can, I wanted to ask about...
when does Minnesota become a state again? We're going to send...
There was a briefing on the Capitol Hill today, and some senators came out and said they were more convinced than ever that there would be U.S. boots on the ground. Senator Blumenthal said that. In fact.
They think that there's
your reaction to that?
troops on the ground?
Any update on President Trump's
Why would they
thinking
think
about
that?
Look, I would say that Democrats on Capitol Hill are clearly being quite disingenuous. 3 years ago,
Do you think gas prices will
not
go
a
even
single
lower after the
Democrat
conflict?
voted,
It depends on
for
what happens.
against the resolution
Right?
condemning Iran as the
'Cause,
world's
like-
leading state sponsor of terror. Yet now, with President Trump as commander-in-chief finally
If
taking
they
the
stop
action
being
that so many
retarded, then yeah,
Democrats
they're going to go
have
a lot
called
lower
on
probably.
the commander-in-chief to do for many,
That's what I
many
bet.
years to wipe out the threat of a rogue Iranian terrorist regime.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of a sudden, Democrats are playing politics with this long-standing bipartisan policy of the United
Everybody
States.
hated Iran.
And 53 of them in the House recently voted against the resolution condemning Iran as the world's state sponsor
it's
of terror.
retarded.
So I wouldn't take Democrats at their word.
47-year low?
As for boots
Maybe.
on the ground, the
I
president
doubt
has
that.
talked
Is it
about this
inflation?
repeatedly. Wisely,
But, yeah.
he does not rule options out as commander-in-chief. So again, I would hesitate to confirm anything that a Democrat on Capitol Hill says right now about the president's thinking. Garrett.
John, you
She's
outlined
really
to
good.
Steve the military components of what would be involved in ending this war, but it seems like there's a political component too. The president said to Fox earlier today that he doesn't believe the new Ayatollah can live in peace. He made a variety of comments suggesting that he should be involved in picking the new Iranian leader.
Yeah.
Is the ending of this war also contingent on Iran selecting a leader that the president finds acceptable? And if so, how is that not the definition of a regime change war?
Well, that's a good question.
President Trump
That's a very
has
good question.
blatantly and frankly stated, it's obviously within the best interest of the United States and the West to no longer have a radical terrorist in charge.
Wait, what? I
of
thought we
Iran,
loved terrorism.
especially as we see their reaction.
Yeah, what do you mean?
To Operation Epic Fury, they had their missiles turned towards our Gulf and Arab partners in the region. Again, this was a regime that chanted, or still chants, "Death to America."
That's
We
not
look
a
at the
good
way
one.
that they are holding the entire world hostage with the restricting of the free flow of energy through the Strait of Hormuz. So the president, I think, is making quite an obvious comment. Again, as for the timeline of the military operations with respect to Iran, we have objectives that we have
Bad
laid
chant.
out that the
Yeah, shouldn't have said
commander-in-chief
that.
wants to see achieved.
Definitely
When they
a
are
bad thing to
achieved,
say.
Then it will ultimately be
That
up
death
the
to
president
America
end
thing
this
is a
operation.
huge,
Okay, so
it's a huge non-starter.
not exactly addressing my question though. Is that political objective also necessary for the president to decide to end this war?
It depends.
Again, I just told you the objectives of Operation Epic Fury. When those objectives are met, the president will dictate the end of these operations when he deems that Iran no longer poses a credible
beard looks
threat
nice
to
today.
the United States of America.
Thank you.
And again, it goes back to what is
Why don't
that
they just call it a
unconditional
regime
surrender
change
look
war?
like? Iran can talk all they want, and
'cause-
their words will be very empty when we've completely
'cause they're worried
annihilated
about
their
it not
navy as
happening.
we are
That's the
doing, when
reason
we've
why.
taken out the threat of their ballistic missile capability. When we
They
can
know they can blow up all their
firmly,
missiles,
finally
but they don't know
ensure
if they
that
can change
no
the
longer
government.
make a nuclear bomb to threaten the
That's the
United
reason
States
why.
and our allies and our troops in the region, and that's what President Trump is ultimately seeking to do.
There's also optics
with
to it,
respect
yeah.
to this operation. Jennifer.
There was a shooting outside of a synagogue in Baltimore. Do you know if the president
Oh.
has been briefed on that, and do you have any more
A
details on what
synagogue in
happened?
Baltimore.
I don't, but we certainly will get you more
I'm
details,
sure they must
Jennifer,
be,
and, I don't know if the president has briefed, but I'll check on that when I get
Yeah.
back to the Oval Office after this.
Sure, it must be a totally normal thing.
Caroline, the president said yesterday for the first time that he had to strike Iran because he believes that Iran was going to strike U.S. targets within 7 days. And then he bumped that down later to 3 days.
Uh-huh.
Where is he getting that?
Well, that's not the first time the president has said that he chose to launch Operation.
He just made it up.
because
That's where he
felt
got
as
it.
though
Everybody
Iran was
knows
going
he
to
just
strike
made it
the
up.
United States and our assets in the region first.
I mean, let's be
Again,
honest.
I addressed this in the last briefing.
Yeah, it's a
This was
vibe.
feeling
Like,
the
yeah, I
president
feel
had
like they're
based
gonna
on
do
facts.
some kind of
Facts
shit.
provided to him by his top
Yeah.
negotiators.
I don't like this.
Engaged with the Iranian regime in a good faith effort. The Iranian regime was lying, deceiving the United States of America, clearly trying to continue their nuclear program to create a bomb that would, of course, threaten the United States of America. Again, their
It came
ballistic
to him
missile
in a
arsenal,
dream?
They were rapidly
Was
and
that it?
aggressively increasing that by
It's
the
astrology.
month to a place where they would essentially build immunity for themselves, where a future president or President Trump would not be able to launch this incredibly successful operation. And so the president, again, as I've reiterated and he has said, was not going to sit back and allow the Iranian regime to threaten or to attack the United States of America any longer.
It was only a matter of time.
Leaders or Israeli leaders who are making those same claims. So is he making this up to justify his decision to go to war now?
Yeah, he made the whole thing
President is
up.
not making anything up.
He
Nancy.
made the whole
is
thing up.
Looking at
That's
this
right.
every single day based on intelligence, based on
Yeah.
facts, and based on intelligence that he himself and his negotiators have.
Yeah, he read it on
have
Twitter.
Consumed based on their negotiations with the rogue Iranian regime over the past year.
Post reporter,
And the
it's
president
just-
and his team tried in a good faith way to reach a diplomatic deal through peaceful means with the
It seems
Iranian
like these
regime.
people are more
And
interested
Iran
in
chose
catching
this
Trump and
path
saying something
to death
wrong
and destruction.
than actually,
Iran
like,
wanted to attack the United
saying
States
anything
of
about the
America, and
news.
the president was not going to sit back and allow that to happen. He was not going to sit back and allow that to happen, and everyone in this room should be grateful for it.
Yeah.
John.
Thanks a lot, Caroline. Two questions for you. One has to do with a follow-up to your statement that you made at the beginning of the briefing regarding the Save America Act.
Sure.
Yesterday,
Yeah, it's always about whether Trump was right or wrong. It's not like about whether a decision is good or bad. It's like surrounding him. It's always about like his reaction or his response to something.
The votes aren't there for a talking filibuster. He says that's the reality. What's your reaction to what Senator Thune said?
Look, I think President Trump, the urgency behind his need to pass the Save America Act and his desire to get this country-saving legislation passed has been made quite clear. He wants all options on the table, and he wants the Senate to move as quickly as possible through whatever means necessary.
And then secondly, just regarding the president's trip tomorrow, looking ahead, why Ohio and why Northern Kentucky?
Well, why not? These are two great states with great Americans.
Just wanted to know why they were chosen.
Great states with great Americans. The president will be joined by
We're going to bomb Ohio and Kentucky after Cuba. That's the reason why.
And respects and supports.
Yeah, but she can't say that yet.
It's
a secret.
About the economy, which is of course the utmost importance to him.
Yeah. Minnesota, we're building up to it.
For India to get oil, Russian oils.
This might be a surprise, guys, because he's asking about India.
President about it. What's the idea?
Have I spoken to the president about it?
Yeah.
Yes, I have spoken to the president about it. And the president and the Secretary of Treasury and the whole national security team came to this decision because our allies in India, as you know, Lalit, have been good actors and have previously stopped buying sanctioned Russian oil. So as we work to appease this temporary gap of oil supply around the world because of the Iranians, we have temporarily permitted them to accept that Russian oil. And this Russian oil was already at sea. It was already out on the water. So this short-term measure, we don't believe it will provide significant financial benefit to the Russian government at this time.
I have one more question about Pakistan. You know, Pakistan is a neighbor of Iran, and Pakistan is also an ally of U.S. President has been praising a lot about the field marshal. Is Pakistan providing any kind of support in this war against
Pakistan?
Iran? That I will have to check out with the Pentagon and get back to you. Sure.
Yesterday that President Putin told him he wanted to be helpful in the Middle East.
President Putin wanted to help out?
Putin said, quote, I would like to reaffirm our unwavering support for Tehran and our solidarity with Iranian friends. How does the president think that Russia could be helpful, if not
maybe by not saying that?
Iran? And did the president push Putin on Russia sharing intelligence with Iran in this war?
Why the fuck would
The
she
president
know that?
and his special envoy Witkoff have both said that, of course, they've sent a message to Russia that if that was taking place, it's not something they would be happy with.
tell them to stop.
That it is not taking
They
place.
quit doing that.
As for further
It's
details
fucking
about
annoying.
discussions between these two leaders, I'll leave it to the president to divulge any more of that conversation. But he did confirm it yesterday and provided you with a little bit of the background and his view and his perspective, as he always does.
Not a surprise.
Regarding the
maybe not showing boat locations,
school, how long does the administration expect that investigation to take, and will the White House or the Department of Defense release a full report of its findings once the investigation is complete?
The Department of War will do that. The investigation continues, and as the president said yesterday at his press conference, he will accept the conclusion of that investigation, whatever it may be. We'll go to the back row for some love.
Dumb question.
Sure, in the back,
It's just,
with the glasses.
The school explosion again?
Regarding the shield of the Americas.
Yeah.
Caroline, and then you can go, but go first.
Okay, thank you. Is there an update regarding...
You have rough real estate back there, so I'm trying to give you
is
some
there an
love.
update regarding Cuba, and also is an economic deal in
Cuba?
Sure, I don't have any updates on Cuba for you today. Obviously, this is something the administration is actively dealing with. The president's made it quite clear, it's his belief, based on fact, that the Cuban regime is bound to fall. The country is obviously in a very weak place, economically speaking. The people
Cuba's
are crying
done.
out for help,
It's over.
and the president believes and knows that the Cuban regime wants a deal. So as you know, Secretary of State Rubio has been engaged in those conversations as directed by by
Yeah, he's going to take it over.
For you today, though.
Thank you, Caroline. Regarding the Shield of the Americas, the initiative by President Trump this weekend, big names, a lot of countries, but some notable absences. For instance, Colombia, which is a key ally with the United States in terms of counter-narcotics.
Cuba is already a humanitarian crisis. Yeah, Cuba is a shithole.
Why wasn't Colombia invited to the Shield?
Massive shithole.
I don't think we're seeing the level of cooperation we quite want to see yet from the Colombian government to invite them to the Shield of America's event in Pact, but we certainly hope that this newfound organization will expand and we can continue
It's bad,
to invite
yeah, that's what I heard.
additional member countries.
I heard the
But,
same thing.
there was quite a few countries there. I believe there were 17 countries represented,
Sure,
12 heads
love
of
to.
state
We'll
with
see.
the president over the
They're
weekend.
gonna get the love.
They
They're gonna get
signed
it
a defense
very
agreement with all
intimately.
of our militaries to emphasize the need to combat drug cartels through Latin America
Yeah.
and the Western Hemisphere, and ultimately, of course, to curb the illegal trafficking of drugs to the United States, which is the president's
That's the main
utmost
focus, right?
priority
Yeah.
in all of
It
this.
should be the
so
main
it was a great
focus. It
event
should
on
be.
Saturday, and we look forward to the coalition expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly in the back.
Caroline, thank you. Good to see you. I want to get back to another question that was asked earlier. It talked about the political aspects, but there's also the ideological and the spiritual aspects of what Iran has said
What is
for
this?
47 years. Death to America, death to
That's
Israel.
bad. That's really
And
bad.
we've just
The death
finished
to
talking
America
about
thing.
the fact that terror has been around the world. Iran has been the nexus of that in so many ways. Has the president stated clearly to the American people why this is such an imminent threat in order for Democrats on Capitol
I think the
Hill and
messaging isn't
Republicans
very good about
and
Iran.
the American people
honestly.
to understand how imminent the threat
I think it's
was?
actually really bad.
I think he has, Kelly. I mean, you've heard from
No,
the
I don't
president
agree.
on an almost daily basis over the course of the past
I don't
10
agree
days.
at all.
You've heard it from me at this podium. You've heard it from the Secretary of War, the Secretary of State,
Go
the
Kelty
Vice
today?
President of the United States.
That's a surprise.
The president's top cabinet and his officials have been repeatedly explaining to the American public the threat
Don't listen
that
Barger
Iran
off
has
Cuba
posed
after we
to our
stabilize
country
them?
in
Yeah, of
this
course.
moment, but of
That's
course
the
over
point.
the course of the past 47
That's the whole
years.
point.
And their words, again, chanting death to America, speak for themselves.
Shouldn't do that.
Go ahead. You can follow up.
Why the division within the American people? I realize that we have the people are talking about the War Powers Act,
Yeah.
they're talking about all kinds of issues, but have people forgotten
Doesn't matter
just
when the
how
media's against
imminent that threat was?
Yeah.
If they keep saying
probably
death to
true.
America
Well-
and death to Israel, they mean it.
Look, I don't think the American people have forgotten, but I think Democrats on Capitol Hill, they have not forgotten.
They don't
because
forget.
are just
It's
so
not they
keen,
forgot, they
with
agree.
this
They
resistance
hate
to
America.
President Trump on everything that
That's
they
the
do,
reason why they wanna
that,
bring in
again, They
foreigners.
can't even rally behind the common sense,
Yeah.
bipartisan, long-standing principle of the United
I mean,
States
it's
of
not even a
America,
question,
that
duh.
Iran absolutely
Like,
poses a
obviously.
threat to the United States, that Iran is the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, and I think that's reflected again in their voting pattern. In 2023, every single member of the House of Representatives, with the exception of one, I believe
Yeah.
the final vote was 412 to 1 in 2023 for a resolution condemning Iran as the world's state leading sponsor of terror. And now in 20,
I feel like everybody
in this
knew
year,
this.
Under this president,
Now we're switching up.
2026, 53 Democrats voted against that exact same resolution with the exact same
Stupid.
language. I don't think that's a change in the threat that Iran has posed to the
They're
United States.
bombing here in Qatar.
I think it's
We'll
a
look at it
change
after
in the
this.
Democrat Party's thinking and their
I'm sure there's been
vicious
multiple
hatred
Iran
for
crash
President
outs.
Danny. Sure.
National threat
Caroline.
level, following on Kelly,
What?
what's the national threat level right now because of this death to America, death to Israel issue?
I believe the Department of Homeland Security
threat
and the FBI
level?
have repeatedly and continuously
Infinity.
provided updates on the
It's
threat level to
orange.
the homeland. I don't
Threat
want to speak
level
on
orange.
it out of turn from up here.
Whatever
but of
you
course,
think that means,
the
that's
federal
what it
government
is.
continuing
Orange.
to coordinate and partner with local law enforcement agencies across the ground to
Being
thwart
asked the US for
potential
COVID?
threats to the homeland.
People
This is
wear masks
something
if they're
the
sick
administration
sometimes.
obviously takes very seriously. We
South
are
Korea, they
thwarting
do that shit all the
threats,
time.
that frankly most Americans don't know about because they never make headlines, but that's the great
Yeah.
work that the Department of Homeland Security is doing, and it emphasizes
Orange
and
like
underscores
Trump?
the
Yes,
point
he's
of
the
why
threat.
Democrats need to fund and
Mhm.
reopen fully the Department of Homeland Security right now. Danny.
In school, why did President Trump say yesterday that Iran may have Tomahawk missiles when there are only 3 other US allies plus the US that have those missiles and therefore could
Look, again, as the president said yesterday, he will accept the conclusion of this investigation by the Department of War. I know there's been a lot of speculation in the media about who may be responsible
It
for this.
doesn't
We're not
matter
gonna
who's
get ahead
responsible for
of
bombing the
Department of
school.
War and the conclusion of that
If it-
investigation. The president has a right to
It doesn't
share
matter.
his opinions with the American public, but he has said he'll accept the conclusion of that
If they say
investigation.
Iran
And
did it,
frankly,
they're gonna say
we're
the-
not
the
gonna be
government's
harassed
lying.
by the New York Times, who's
They'll
been
only
putting out a
accept
lot of
the
articles
outcome
on
that the
this,
government's wrong.
making claims that have just not been
That's
verified
it.
by the Department of War to quickly wrap up this investigation because the New York Times is calling on us to do so.
I said this
Thank you.
before.
Thank you so much. Caroline, with the
It's a moot
DHS
point, yeah.
currently under a partial Democrat shutdown,
Does the administration have any specific concerns about potential impact on Homeland Security?
Matters to make the narrative more
or
negative?
Intelligence monitoring of sleeper cells inside the United States. And do you have any comment on the bombing, the two individuals that bombed
Epstein
New York City
paradox?
were tied to?
Yeah, it was absolutely despicable to see that attack in New York City.
Mhm.
I know the FBI is investigating.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Department of Justice.
The other
and
terrorist
SDNY have
attack.
announced they are charging
The
those
ISIS
two
Andes.
individuals and alleged terrorists, and I know they won't rest until justice is sought in
Mhm.
this case. Daniel.
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
Caroline. Appreciate it. Millions of Americans are filing taxes for the first time since the president signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act into
Yeah.
law. New reports say that new IRS data says that the average federal tax refund is around $3,800, a little bit up from the last period of last
Yeah.
year. Does the president believe that the average federal tax refund increasing this year could provide a little bit more economic growth? Something
Well,
that
it
he's been very
should.
focused
That'd be
on as
good.
the year progresses.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And Americans
obviously.
are going to start benefiting from the fruits of President Trump and Republicans'
We talking about the
labor,
Antifa guy kill a
through the
cop?
passage
No, I
of
didn't
the
see
One Big
anything about
Beautiful
that.
Bill and these historic tax cuts. We are midway through tax season, so just to provide an update from the Treasury Department that just went out moments ago, nearly 63.5 million tax returns have been processed thus far. 45% of the anticipated total number of tax
What is
returns
this?
by
No,
April
Matt, you
15th,
linking me
so
this?
don't forget to file your taxes, people. And the average refund
Taxes.
this year is more than
Wait.
$3,700. And we know that more than 27.5 million individuals who have filed their tax returns
The
thus
IRS
far
sent me
have
a letter.
claimed at least one of President Trump's
sent me a
new
letter.
tax cuts. Over 3.5 million returns have claimed
They said
no
that I
tax
owed
on
them
tips. Over 15.5 million returns have claimed no
$390,000.
tax on overtime. Over 9.2 million returns have
It's like
claimed
4
the
days
enhanced
ago.
deduction for seniors, and over 690,000 returns have claimed no tax on car loan interest. And another
Oops.
amazing statistic: nearly 3.5 million Trump accounts have been opened
Got to do another
for
fucking
children
sponsor
in our
stream.
country thus far. So we look forward to. I know the Treasury Department continues to look forward to seeing these checks go out the door and into
Yeah.
the pockets of
Do you?
hardworking
I don't
Americans.
know.
And the president will be meeting with them himself tomorrow on the road in both Ohio and Kentucky. And we look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you, guys.
You could write that off. I can't write it off, bro. Like they got me on. And so, yeah, you owe us a house. I mean, yeah, I got the letter and like, I'll check my mail and I'll see like, oh fuck, there's another letter from the IRS. And like right now I have like my taxes that are getting managed by like a place. And so it's like, I'm not stressed out about it, but it was like, I opened it up and I like texted them. I'm like, hey, just wanted to let you know I got a letter. It said I owe $390,000. They're like, oh, okay. Well, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. I said, all right, cool. And then I just went back to playing video games and I haven't thought about it since then. And they never called me about it. So like, I'm assuming that things just kind of worked themselves out, right? I mean, they did. Islamic terrorists are living in houses like this while many Americans can't afford rent. So they went and they obviously like stormed these two guys' houses, and this is one of the houses. This is a $1.7 million basically mansion. I mean, this house is gigantic. This is a huge house.
Good morning. On Saturday, a protest was held outside Gracie Mansion, where I live with my wife, Rama. Neither of us were home at the time. This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City. I'm the first Muslim
And then somebody who was Islamic threw a bomb at them. But you're not going to mention that.
Of our city.
And I think it's important that he mentions that he's the first Muslim mayor of the city. I think that it's very obvious that there is a certain subset of Muslims that are in America and in Western countries that try to actively downplay any instance of bad behavior that Muslims do and then immediately play it off like it's something else or try to cry Islamophobia or some other variation of that. The most ironic and funniest thing about this is that we have a bigger issue with like radical Islam and this terrorism shit than countries in the Middle East do. They're worried about sending their people up to Europe because Europe has more radical people than they have, and they're the Muslim countries. So this entire idea that it's Islamophobic to go after these terrorist people is insane.
Of New York City. I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city.
Yes.
Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home.
So this is basically what happened, is that somebody did a protest, and then someone else threw a nail bomb into the protest while screaming Allahu Akbar, and they were inspired by ISIS, which is a Muslim terrorist group. And then the Muslim mayor comes up and he talks about how terrible it is that people don't like Muslims. Can you believe this? And also, if I take a step back, this isn't helping Muslims. It's not. It's just making everything worse. You don't lose anything by condemning people that are openly trying to throw bombs around and speaking and playing English about why they're doing it.
While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen.
He's defending terrorism? Yes.
Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred. It does not belong only to those we agree with. It belongs to everyone.
So you should have just started your speech like that. It would have been fine.
I will defend that right every day that I am mayor, even when those protesting say things that I abhor. Let me also be clear about something else. New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests. Many of the counter-protesters met this display of bigotry peacefully, with a vision of a city that is welcoming to all.
Yes.
But a few did not. Two men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism.
Yes.
There is video of these two individuals throwing two devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim,
bombs,
or worse. Thanks to the swift and decisive actions of NYPD officers at the scene, both men were immediately taken into custody.
And you can see how he never even talks at all about the intent or the reason why the bombing happened. He had no problem saying that Jake Lang was a white supremacist that was anti-Muslim and that he's a Muslim and Muslims get a bunch of hate in America. And the thing is that like you never connect these two things, that a lot of average reasonable people see this and they look at this and they say, why is Zoran sweeping for Muslim terrorism? Why is he trying to downplay this? Why is he spending more time talking about why Jake Lang is bad than why the people that did this threw the bomb? It's obvious. And in my opinion, the reason why is because he's a Muslim too. I think that's the reason. I think that he's sharing ethnic and also religious solidarity with them, and he's protecting their actions. I think that's what he's doing.
This is they brought taken off of our streets.
These people put their religion above the country. And this is a huge component of what's going on, is you have people, there are some people who put their country over their religion, and you have other people that put their religion over their country. The people that put their religion over their country and end up on the side of terrorists should not be in America, period. They should not be in America at all.
I want to commend the officers who were on site. They faced a chaotic situation that very quickly could have become far more dangerous.
This is true. The officers are absolute fucking heroes. Like, I can't believe, like, they threw a bomb and this guy just ran after him. Like, that was insane.
NYPD Chief Aaron Edwards and Sergeant Luis Navarro ran towards the danger so that others could run to safety.
Yeah.
They are here with us now, and I want to thank them today publicly as I did yesterday privately, and to thank the dozens of other officers who responded without hesitation. That is courage, that is selflessness, and I'm deeply grateful to both of them and to every member of the NYPD who works every single day to keep New Yorkers safe. As the NYPD continued their investigation yesterday, they found a third suspicious device in a vehicle on East End between 81st and 82nd Street. Out of an abundance of caution, they conducted a number of limited evacuations of nearby buildings before removing the device from the area. Once the device was removed, those evacuated were allowed to return to their homes. I am grateful for their continued work to keep New Yorkers safe. And let me say this plainly. Anyone who comes to New York City to bring violence to our streets will be held accountable in accordance with the law.
Yeah.
As this case continues to develop, I will remain in close contact and communication with our police commissioner. I want to say thank you once again to everyone who acted on Saturday to protect their fellow New Yorkers and to uphold the values of this city. Now, I would like to invite Police Commissioner Tisch to say a few words.
Well, there it is. So you've got somebody who's going up there and not saying why they threw the bomb, but spending a minute talking about how bad it is that people are racist against Muslims. I think that next time you're probably going to get a bigger protest, because there's nothing that's contributed more to, your perception of Islamophobia or the negative perception of Muslims than when Muslims inside of positions of power or any degree of influence downplay and try to hide the bad actions of Muslims that are doing something wrong. And I think it's just disgusting. It's completely disgusting. I'm shocked, to be honest, that, people put up with this. I don't know why Americans put up with this. I think that, Americans are just so massively cucked. And I think it's just white people in the West in general are just so massively cucked that they're unwilling to just come out and say very clearly, this is unacceptable. This is Muslim terrorism. Why aren't you saying this? And you should leave your position if you can't say this, right? Which is clearly what it is. But there are so many white people that aren't able to do that because they're afraid of being called a name that they have no problem letting their country be run by literal bombers. These are people trying to throw bombs and kill people, and it's preferable to a white person to let that happen than to be perceived as a bad name. It's just so fucking pathetic, man. It really is. And it only radicalize people against Muslims. It will. And I think that this definitely, if you think about this event, did Zohran's approach to this, and this is an interesting way to look at it, and I'll see what you guys think about this. Did Zohran's approach to this event increase or decrease the negative sentiment for Muslims inside of America? What do you think? Did it make it go up or down? Because in my opinion, I think it made it go down. Made it go up. It increased it. Yes, exactly. And so that's the main issue, right? Is that you have somebody here who's openly justifying and trying to downplay terrorism, right? Trying to downplay terrorism and doing this. I think it's a huge problem. It also distracted libs from the war. His wife supports the October 7th attack. Oh, I mean, if his wife supports it, I think that he probably does too. I mean, that's just probably what happens. I mean, I'm not saying for sure, but if I had to bet on it, then that's probably what I would assume. And so, it's who doesn't who has that opinion, right? Some correction increased. Yeah, exactly. I would never, the thing is that for something like this, I would never vote for a person like this. These people shouldn't even be in America, if you want me to be honest. I don't think they should be. I think these people are total fucking terrorist sympathizers. I think that they enable terrorism, they downplay terrorism, and they want to import more terrorism. That what their mindset is, and this is maybe not Zohran specifically, but I think that a lot of people like this, their mindset is to let's import a bunch of terrorists into the country country that can be radicalized and then make it to where you can't criticize them or they'll be radical. So basically mass migrate a bunch of people over here who are violent and then say that you can't criticize about you can't criticize mass migration because then the people here will be violent. It's absolutely fucking insane that this is happening. And oh, my negativity is rising. I can see why. I absolutely can. So, yeah, I mean, Jake is a racist. Yeah, but so is this. This is obviously like, I mean, and here's the issue, right, is that Jake can be a racist and he can do whatever he wants, but he was the one who was being a, he was being a peaceful peaceful protester, right? And that's really what matters, is that if you're peacefully protesting, nobody should be throwing a bomb at you. And to the extent that, and think about it like this, right, is that imagine that you have two groups of people. You have a peaceful protester, and you also have a terrorist that's trying to throw a bomb into a crowd of civilians. And more time is spent trying to demonize and condemn the viewpoints of the peaceful protester than the person who threw the bomb. Do you really think that there is any form of justice, rationality, common sense, or anything with that at all? Absolutely fucking not. So no, I totally reject this. I think that it's completely wrong. So yeah. And racist is the only word used against whites. Yeah, these people are racist themselves. But you're debating feelings because words, not the words themselves. You're debating the feelings words cause, not the words themselves. Well, I'm debating really. I don't know exactly. Ratting here. Well, let me pull this up. So he's not downplaying it. Why do you think he didn't mention the fact that? Why do you think he didn't mention the fact that the person who threw the bomb said Allahu Akbar and was inspired by ISIS? And we're going to go through this because I don't know. Okay, let me ask you another question. If there was a Muslim protest and the person threw the bomb and they said white power and they were inspired by the KKK, do you think that he would have told people about what their motivations were? Do you think he would have mentioned that in his speech? Not trying to read his mind. I'm asking you what you think. Like, what do you think? 1,000%. Okay. So you've just acknowledged that there is a distinction where he is so why is it? What do you think the reason is that he's not, he would be willing to call out a white supremacist, but not willing to call out an Islamic terrorist? Why do you think that is? We're going to get there. Votes. You don't think that it has anything to do with the fact that he has the same identity as this person? And also, by the way, does that make it better? I feel like that's just as bad. Yeah, isn't that just as bad? You don't think that there's any own group, no votes in power? Okay. Well, the fact is that I can't really... The thing is that, you know what the truth is? I'm right and I think you're right. I think that he's also doing it for votes too. I think you're probably right about that. But I think to downplay the fact that... And also, like, he's drawing a connection to himself, etc. And it's what he didn't say. Yes, definitely. And also, you're not reading minds so much as judging actions. Actions speak louder than words. Yes, definitely. And Cheddar ain't wrong. A white Democrat would have downplayed it as well. You know what? I think that's a great point. And you actually, that is a good point that you're doing. He just doesn't use the words that you want to hear. Well, no, but like, and also I think that there is a huge issue with this happening because also like if you, let's use second order effect logic here. If losing votes would mean calling out Islamic terrorism, then that would mean anybody that's doing that would probably be a supporter of terrorism that would be a problem in itself, right? And also, he isn't using the words I want to hear. I want to hear when a Muslim terrorist throws a bomb into an unarmed group of civilians, I want to hear that they are a Muslim terrorist and they should be sent to jail forever. That's what I want to hear on TV. And if I don't hear that on TV, I don't want to hear a single fucking thing about the person who they threw the bomb at. That's the thing. And so if you want to talk about that, yeah, I do want to hear that. Absolutely. Because he's actively trying to misrepresent it. They're all politicians, man. I talk to their potential voters, all of them. I get it. I understand what you're saying. But at the end of the day, he is enabling terrorism. He's sweeping for terrorism. And I do think that there is an own group bias that's happening. Absolutely there is. And even by your own admission, there's a second order own group bias that's happening because you're implying that if he criticizes Islamic terrorism, Islamic people will not vote for him, which means that they are exhibiting an own group bias for terrorism too, which is still as big of a problem. So I see what you're saying, but I think you can hopefully see what I'm saying too about this. And it's a huge problem. If it was in reverse, Republicans would do the same. Well, I don't know about that. I have no idea. I think you have to think about it before. And you would want to hear a thing if it's a Christian terrorist threw a bomb into a crowd. Yeah. And all of them left, right, but we should call that out like you do. I do. I'll call it out every time. You know what? I don't like the way you said that, but I don't think that you're bringing up a point that's totally wrong. You're not going to get banned. So those idiots are captured by their narrative. They're not allowed to acknowledge any deviation. That's true, too. I wonder what his speech would have been like if the bomb killed any white supremacists. Well, I don't know, right? I mean, he probably would have still tried to downplay it. And so here's another part of it.
Defendants have admitted that they acted on Saturday because of ISIS. It is alleged both defendants have admitted that they acted on Saturday because of ISIS.
Ooh,
as Kayumi
not a
was
good
being
place to
placed
be
into
in.
an NYPD vehicle following his arrest, a person in the crowd asked why he had done this. As shown on NYPD body-worn camera footage referenced in the complaint, Kayumi responded with ISIS.
Nope.
And at the precinct, after being advised of his Miranda rights and waiving those rights, Kayumi said in recorded post-arrest statements that he had watched ISIS propaganda on his phone and that his actions that day were partly inspired by ISIS.
Yeah, I mean, this is a literal person that got inspired by terrorism. It's pretty fucking simple, honestly. Seems obvious what happened.
The complaint also details statements made by Amir Balat after his arrest. En route to the NYPD precinct, Balat made spontaneous statements without being questioned by NYPD officers that were captured
Big
on
mistake.
body-worn camera footage.
No wonder the bomb didn't go off. These guys aren't good decision makers.
She said, this isn't a religion that just stands when people talk about the blessed name of the prophet. We take action, we take action as well.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who has this viewpoint needs to be locked up. It's just that simple. Anybody who thinks that criticism of their religion is acceptable to be met with violence needs to be locked up, deported, or removed from public society one way or another. It's not even a question.
Well as, if I didn't do it, someone else will come and do it.
And I think this is true. And there is a huge problem with this. People that think that you can't criticize their ideology, like whether it's, the ICE people, whether it's Islamic people, whether it's any of these people, any of this ideology is just completely unacceptable, period. And it's shocking to me that so many Americans don't want to call this out exactly for what it is. And we're starting to see a lot more of it happening, which I'm very happy about.
And later, after waiving his rights, he requested paper and wrote a message declaring in part, I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State. Die in your rage, you kuffar. Now, die in your rage.
Kuffar, I think, is infidel, I'm pretty sure.
Rage is a commonly known ISIS slogan, and kuffar is an Arabic term that refers to non-believers.
Yeah.
He also told investigators that he had hoped to carry out an attack even bigger than the Boston Marathon bombing, which he noted resulted in only 3 deaths.
I don't see why anybody's surprised by this. Yeah, this guy's he's just a super radicalized terrorist. That's obviously what happened.
These statements, as set forth in the complaint, make clear that this was not random violence. This was a planned attack motivated by extremist ideology and inspired.
And the reality is that the FBI probably dropped the ball on this because they're not doing enough to monitor these people and actively take proactive action against them. Like the people that are going around making these bombs, doing this terrorist stuff, these people I think are probably trackable, and you can probably figure this out ahead of time. How did he get radicalized in the US? I don't know. The thing is that there's a lot of, and I think that like, why is it that a lot of young guys have this happen? Young guys, I think, get radicalized, whether it's by, white supremacy, whether it's by a gang, whether it's by, a religion, whether it's by another political stuff, like the ICE stuff. Like, people get radicalized. I think it's primarily young men, because young men don't really have a direction in the world and a place to fit in. And because of that, they look at the position they're in, they're unhappy about it, and so they lash out and they attack somebody because they're trying to fight back against the injustice that they think that they're being put on. That's really where I think it's happening from. Social media rewards extremism, yes. Americans have reached a level of acceptable tolerance. They're afraid if they call it out, they'll be met with more violence. They would rather have paper cuts than gashes. Americans don't realize they don't have to deal with either one. Yeah, I know. I didn't know the additional context, and assuming this mayor had information, then he absolutely should have acknowledged this as terrorism. Anybody who yells Allahu Akbar whenever they're throwing a bomb, that's an Islamic terrorist. Like, what are we talking about? Like 99.9%. This is like somebody saying white power and then saying, is this a white supremacist? Well, we don't know.
A violent foreign terrorist organization.
Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, it's... Like, this is the most obvious 2 + 2 = 4. Duh.
The complaint alleges not only why the defendants acted, but how. Preliminary testing has determined that one of the devices contained triacetone triperoxide, or TATP, also commonly referred to as Mother of Satan, a highly volatile explosive that has been used in multiple terrorist attacks over the last decade.
Oh, boy.
As we have previously discussed, the NYPD identified a vehicle yesterday on East End Avenue that was linked to the defendants. Inside that vehicle, investigators recovered handwritten notes referencing TATP explosive and listing chemical ingredients for the type of explosive device used by the defendants on Saturday. Make no mistake.
Not good.
What happened this weekend was incredibly
dangerous,
at all. And the
all.
ongoing investigation will be exhaustive. From the first moments of that investigation, the NYPD has been working seamlessly with our federal partners.
See, what needs to happen, this is the problem, is that people like this don't exist in a vacuum. They exist inside of a network of a lot of other people that think and behave like they do. And the problem is that the government is very concerned